much too much. I love you much too much. I've known it from the start, right from the start. But yet my love is such, I can't control my heart. Love you more.
Yep, what's up? Welcome back to the show. Yep, Strikeout Bros. My man Lasha was good, baby.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
The Orioles were on a 4 game losing streak, but they snapped it tonight. They had a good road trip. I always say with road trips, Mets had a good road trip too. If you finish a
500.
road trip 500, that's a good stand.
Nah, man. I don't
And
think so.
listen, it's
Not if
better than a
I'm.
losing streak, or better than a finish on the road with a losing record. Yes,
uh,
you want to go 4-2 or 4-3, whatever the series is. But the Orioles, they pissed me off on Sunday because they could have won that game. But a bad call by the umpires. I sent it to the group. Uh, Basically changed the momentum of the game, and then Toronto scored 5 runs in that inning, and the game was over. And the Orioles lost all momentum. And great pitching by our starting staff, and they just fell apart. And so they ended up finishing 3-3. Because if you finish 4-2, it makes a big difference. You just took 2 out of 3 from Toronto. Now you're ahead of them in that series. You're ahead of them in the standings, and and then you feel good because the Yankees are starting to struggle. Well, not really. They're on a 4 game losing streak, but you're like, oh wow, they might struggle with Judge being out with injuries. Uh,
talking
you
about the
know,
Yankees right now. The Yankees have a 4 game winning streak right now.
no, I'm just saying when the Judge injury
Oh, got
occurred,
occurred.
people were
Yeah,
starting to be like, oh boy, what are the Yankees going to be
yeah.
like?
But look,
Because
they
their
figured it out.
offense comes from Judge and Ben Rice, and that's it. Everybody else, but guys are stepping up. So if they can get those guys to step up until August, then they're fine. So
Yeah, I
but the
feel
Yankees
like
always figure it out. So I never worried about them.
no, but you guys are still in the race though. It's 90 something games left. You're 10 games back. The Yankees are gonna have their problems, and hopefully you guys are, doing well when that happens. But you guys won what 5 out of the last 10, so 500 for the last 10. 10 games back. 5 games below 500. You guys have a shot. It's not over yet. There's so much baseball left, but there are teams that are definitely over. Okay, you know I don't want you to say, oh, it's early for the Mets. It's not early for the Mets anymore. It's over. Okay, and let me explain to you why. Because last year around the same time, we were looking at teams like the White Sox. We were looking at teams like Colorado, and we already knew where they were going. They were going in the wrong direction, and it was going to get worse. And that's exactly what's going to happen to the Mets this year. The Mets and Colorado have the worst records, right? So they're at the bottom of the pile, and I know for a fact that they won't be moving from that spot in the division. It's over, bro. I can't watch, bro. I was at the game yesterday, didn't watch any of it, right? They're strictly for the money at this point, which is crazy because that's not why landed that job. I wanted to get paid to watch, but now I'm just getting paid. It's very hard to sit there and be at my stadium and not be able to watch. All right, even when you have a guy like Parata on the mound, and he's not doing well either. So the funny shit is that there was a report. Jeff Passan, he had there's a report out there about if we do sell, who are we gonna get rid of? You know what I'm saying? So his list was strictly pitchers, which I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with him. So he had Minter up there. He had Parata up there, obviously, and Holmes. It's weird because if he's hurt, so he has 1 year left on his contract. It was an opt out, I believe, but now with the injury, I don't believe he's gonna, you know, try to go elsewhere. So like he mentioned who else? Williams maybe. There's a couple of them, but I don't want to get rid of the pitching. It's hard to find pitching. What we have to do is we have to go young and and just let nature take its course. That's what I feel we have to do. But the pitching is very important. If anything, we should be adding pitching. We should figure out which one of these young guys is going to be able to hold the ball every 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Line those guys up and then figure out what's missing and then go out there and get something. And if it means going out there and getting, top of the order, top of the rotation type guy like Schoolball, whoever, which Schoolball's about to come back, which is funny. So,
Or resign Peralta.
or Visan Peralta. But at this point, it looks like Peralta's looking like a DeGrom slash Johan Santana, where he goes out there and no matter what he does, he could do amazing things. 2 runs is not a lot for a pitcher to go out there and try to stop a professional ball club from scoring. You know what I'm saying? 2 runs ain't shit. But when it comes to the Mets, 2 runs is a million runs because they don't produce any runs. You know what I'm saying? 2 days, and I believe they produced 2 runs. Yesterday they got smoked. They didn't even score. You know what I'm saying? So like, and we get these weird spotty guys, like Bichette is starting to hit now, whatever. Simeon is starting to hit now. That means shit to me because you know what I'm saying. Like I was telling my dad today, we win 3, we lose 5. So, and it's constantly the same shit over and over again. Now we're gonna go on a serious losing streak. Atlanta's coming to town. They're gonna murder us, and then we're gonna end up going back out there on the road, doing somewhat well, and then coming home with that, yeah, let's see what we can do now. And then we end up losing another 5 in a row. So it's like, it's a joke, it's like up, down. It's like a seesaw, you know what I'm saying? Like mathematically going down 2 inches, going up 5, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the opposition always has us, you know what I'm saying? Like we never have a chance to, go up in the standings because of it, It's hard, but whatever. I have a lot of shit I want to talk about. I want to talk about a couple of things, but, I'm going to let you. You had a good week. You had a decent week. So I want you to talk about what you think is happening with your club, where you think they're going. I know you're gonna tell me that the pitching is trash, but you know what? You guys are winning games. You guys are doing better than us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. We can talk about Alonzo. You know what I'm saying? Like we.
No, I don't want to talk about him. The pitching
Oh, you
has
don't want to
gotten
talk
better. Starting pitching has gotten better,
Okay, that's a
which
good.
is good.
Yeah.
Young has been doing great. He's Brandon Young. He's set 7 of his starts. He's gone 7-0 in his last 7 starts. So he's doing well. God Brash, he pitches tomorrow. Can he get together? They just put Bassett on the DL, so they recalled up guy. I forgot his first name, but he's a young guy. His name is Gibson. He's from AAA. So Bassett's inconsistent. He'll pitch a great game one day, and the next minute, he has a terrible outing. His next outing, so he's out for a while. So yeah, the rotation is still their weakness, but they're slowly getting it together. The offense is slowly producing. It's a lot of the no-name guys that are producing. Blaze Alexander, he's doing well. Tyler O'Neill, useless Pete, because Pete only hits home runs when there's nobody on base, or they're down by 1,000, or they're winning by 1,000. It seems like every time I put on this Orioles game, it's look, base is loaded, 1 out. Pete Alonso comes up the bat. What does he do? He either pops out or grounds a double play. It's like you already know what's gonna happen without even watching it, but you still watch the train wreck at times.
Of course.
But if you look at his numbers, you'd be like, oh wow, he's doing pretty well. He's got 14 home runs and so on and so. I don't know the rest of his stats, but that's not bad. That's not bad for a first half.
Yeah.
And defensively, he's been great. To be honest with you, everyone thought that'd be his weakness, which it is. So that's good first base wise. But Sam Basallo got hurt, their catcher, so he's in and out of the lineup. He's been good. Rutschman, he's good, but he's inconsistent. That's one guy I could see them trading to get pitching if they had to trade. Right now, I'd be sellers.
No, it's still crazy. See, just saying that bothers me because if I was 10 games back and I was in the middle of the pile in the division, I wouldn't consider myself a seller. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you have something there. You're close to 500. All you have to do is, turn the corner. And I feel like if you feel like you need pitching, then, you should go out there and try to get it. you're a ball club that has serious dollars right in the bank. So what's stopping you from going out there and going for school ball? You know what I'm saying? What's
It's
stopping
called
you from
cheapskate GM. That's what it
what's
is.
stopping you from going after Peralta? You know what I'm saying? Because you already know this is what's gonna happen. What's stopping you from doing these things? Like like what they always say, another man's garbage is another man's treasure, right? That's what they say. That's how the saying goes. I'm not 100% sure. It's something like that. But you guys have a shot, man. There's a lot of baseball left. But when a team isn't, doing anything right, you know what I'm saying, from A to Z, and there's a problem internally and nobody's talking about it and we don't know exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my dad have a constant argument about who we think is running the ship, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like lineups and deciding who's gonna play today. It has to be Mendoza because this shit is crazy. The way it just doesn't make any sense. Like it's erratic. It's we don't know what the guy's thinking. It can't be Stearns. There's no way in hell it's Stearns, man. Stearns put the team on paper and it looked good, and now for some reason we can't figure shit out. It doesn't make any sense. The way the inconsistencies are insane. But I want to talk about these players that had amazing years last year, and for some reason they're on the downfall. There's something going on. There's something wrong. Are they getting long in the tooth, or are they just having a bad first half? Like we don't really know. The first guy I want to talk about because he annoys me, and I really dislike this guy. I don't want to use the word hate, but I really dislike this guy. And it's funny because he reminds me of Lindor. It's like this flashy type of player who's always smiling even when things go wrong. I don't like that kind of shit. The other day I was watching a video of Lindor striking out when Otani was pitching to him, and he thought it was cute. He thought it was funny. He's smiling and shit. You just finished getting, get out of here. You got K'd by one of the best and shit against the team that you wanna destroy. And look what happens. Just smiling at him like, yeah, you got me, buddy. That shit ain't funny to me. You know what I'm saying? But the guy I want to talk about is Jazz Chisholm Jr. What do you think about that guy before I start talking about
Jazz, he's having a terrible year. I don't know if it's because he's out of position or he's. I think he's sometimes in his head too much. He's very cocky. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference between cocky and confidence. But when you're confident and you're not producing, it comes across more as being cocky than anything else. And it makes it worse because you can't swap him out with somebody else because you can't put Volpe in his place because Volpe is just as bad. You know what I mean? Caballero's been doing good, so yeah, you could leave Caballero. You could leave Caballero at second or at shortstop, and then but the problem is, the nice thing about Chisholm, he can play second base. You know what I mean? Volpe can't play second base, so Chisholm can play third and second. You can't do that with Volpe because wherever he goes, he's just a walking disaster from an error standpoint, just missing easy plays and stuff. But with Chisholm, I saw he hit a home run the other day. He's inconsistent. It's just just some. He has a lot of blunders,
it? Yeah, he's
and
trash. Let
it's
me explain something to you. He's
he should
trash.
have never went to New York. He was better off in Miami. There's
He
less
what?
pressure. You know what I mean? He can
Yeah,
have fun. They're not going to be winning. When New York, there's a lot of pressure to win. The eyes are on you. He does not like the New York pressure. He's very vocal about that, especially if you watch some of his post game interviews. Things like that. But
well, yeah. He's
you know,
batting 230. He has 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, 12 stolen bases. Now, the nerve of this guy, right? This guy stated that he was aiming for the 50-50 club. And there's only one player in MLB history that has been able to accomplish that. And he thinks that he's on par with Otani. Get out of here, bro. You're crazy. He has 4 measly home runs. You're not on pace for anything. Get out of here. All right.
no,
Another
he's
guy.
not. No,
He's
he's not.
not. He's not. Another guy that had an amazing year last year in 2025, 25 home runs, 96 runs batted in, 31 stolen bases. And this year, garbage. Trevor Story, Boston Red Sox. But the Boston Red Sox have been horrible for the last 2 years with the big payroll, with all the big names. You know what I'm saying? They lost Alex Bergman. Alex Bergman is garbage too. He's another guy that we want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like he's on the downside. You know what I'm saying? He's not he can't figure it out. Story's batting 206 right now at the moment. 19 RBIs in 41 games. He's not himself. Another player, Trey Turner, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, batting 236 right now at the moment. There's no way. Trey Turner has he lost it. But we already spoke on that. Remember, we said that the Phillies were getting older. They need to, reinvent themselves and start all over again because the core is getting old, and we're starting to notice that when that happens to your team and the majority of the core players on your team are on the older side of it doesn't work out. It's time to make moves. You can have two or three veterans on your team, on the older side, but you can't have a full core of that because that's not going to work out.
Yeah, no, well, Story, he's past his prime. And like I said, Boston is on the decline. They've been struggling ever since they got rid of Mookie Betts and Xander Bogarts and all these. Chris Sale, he ended up leaving too. They just haven't been the same. Uh, and then who was the last guy again?
Which one? Trevor Story?
Trevor Story and the guy after that.
The guy after that was
It was Jazz Chisholm.
Trey Turner.
Trey Turner. Yeah, Trey Turner, same thing. I'm convinced that the Phillies are gearing towards a rebuild. They just haven't accepted that yet.
They haven't.
They're trying to do what the Giants did, the New York Giants did in football years ago with Eli Manning. They're trying to win one more championship with Eli while he was there. It just didn't work out. It became a fire, a massive fire, and right now it's not a massive fire in Philadelphia because there are winning games. They're now in second place. So, but Turner's not the reason why. Turner's not the reason why they're winning games. You know what I mean? He's just there. So he's past his time. He did good. He got his money. He helped them get as far as they could possibly go. They didn't make it to the World Series, but he. You could tell when someone's past their prime. It sucks, in baseball. You can't hide it.
It happens
Father
fast.
Time always catches up to you. Doesn't matter how well you stay in shape or work out or whatever the case is. You just lose as you get older. You lose velocity. I'm not. I can run, but I'm not as fast as I used to be when I ran track in high school. It's just different. It just the body gets changes.
Yeah.
And with baseball, it's even worse because it's a lot of stress you put on the body. All that torquing, all that twisting, all that pounding, all that diving head first, whatever, all these crazy things that these players do. You don't realize it, because, yes, it's not like football where you're getting contact hit all the time, but still a lot of energy and a lot of force used to do things. And that's why you see a lot of ACL injuries or knee injuries or patella, all these type of injuries in baseball. So, in my opinion, Philadelphia, they're going to try to go for it one last time. As long as they're above 500 and they still have a chance for a wild card spot. I don't know what they're going to trade for because you don't have much pieces to trade for because Harper's getting old, Turner's getting old, Realmuto's getting old. Nobody's going to want those guys.
Yeah. What
and they need pitching help too.
The crazy thing is that they're 5 games above 500, right? They won 7 out of the last 10. They just lost the game today, so they have to start the wheel all over again. But they've been, 2 games above 500 at home, 3 games above 500 on the road. They're doing well, right? And the funny shit is with that record, they're still 9 games back from Atlanta. Atlanta is doing something really crazy this year. You know what I'm saying? 45 wins is pretty insane, all right? That's the most in the MLB right now at the moment, followed by the Dodgers and then Milwaukee. The Dodgers have 43, Brewers have 41. And that's fucking crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Tampa Bay and the Yankees as well have 40 and 41. And they're tied for first place in the division. But that's impressive for a team that I wasn't even thinking about, man, to be honest with you. Another player. One of actually, this is definitely one of your favorite players. Something is really wrong. Mr. Tatis. All right. Fernando Tatis right now is batting
He's been
232,
terrible.
15 RBIs, no home runs, 193 at bats this year. There's something really wrong there. All right. 42 games in, and nobody can explain it. It's crazy. All right. And the other
Yeah,
asshole.
I don't know what is with, and so going back to San Diego, they're another team. They're just falling apart. I mean, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. They just, and what's crazy about them is they have a pretty good starting rotation, and their team offensively is not, on paper you'd be like, wow, they have Bogarts, they got Machado, they have Tatis, they have all these guys, and they still have I forgot his name, but anyway, you have all these guys. Like, how are they
Yeah,
this terrible? But they're past their prime. Machado's getting older.
yeah, yeah.
Tatis, I don't know if he's getting older, if it's just the money's gotten to his brain or what it is, but he's just been awful.
But the funny shit is, once again, I wish I was the San Diego Padres right now. 35 and 32, three above 500, 7.5 games back. Oh, at all times because of the Dodgers, obviously. 500 at home, three above at, away. Like, I mean, they lost three. They won three out of the last 10. So that tells you, look at that. Imagine they're having a bad ride, you know what I'm saying, right now at the moment, but still in second place. And, in a better position than both of our teams, which is fucking crazy. I mean, you're a closet Atlanta
And,
fan too.
and they're playing the Orioles this week in Baltimore, so they're coming from the West Coast. So who knows? We might have a disadvantage. We might have an advantage over them.
My man, have
Who
fun.
knows?
That's
I
all I
don't
gotta say.
know.
Have fun, Lasha. This
But
is
they got to sweep that series because they're,
that's what I said.
their team to you. That's a team they get fat off of. Mets did it. Yeah, you wanted to sweep, but you know what? You
We
take
didn't
two out
do
of
it. We
three.
didn't do it. We didn't do it. We wanted
Hey, you won
exactly.
2 out of 3.
We
That's
had to
good enough.
sweep. It was mandatory for us to sweep. We were hitting the ball well against them, so it's not it's a party. I didn't believe the hype. I already knew. I was like, this is San Diego. They're fucking struggling right now. So I'm not taking this shit seriously. I said when St. Louis comes home to City Field, which is their second ballpark, you know what I'm saying? Because they come to New York to just rape us. You know, they always right the sheep that right the ship in San Diego, right the ship in at City Field. You have problems. Your team has problems. Come to City Field and play. Anything is possible. Shit is crazy. Another
Well,
guy.
I'm looking. So the Mets are coming to Atlanta on July 4th weekend, and I'm looking. If I'm not working, I'll
That'll be
reach out to my buddy Nate and see if they want to go. Their game on Saturday on the 4th of July. It's a night game, but now I realize why, because they're gonna do a fireworks show afterwards.
yeah.
The problem with that is by the time you get out, it's gonna be 12, 1 o'clock almost. Well, maybe not. It'll be over by 10. Maybe if it's over by 10, 10:30, it's not
My
bad. Get out
man,
there
it'll
by
be the
11.
fastest game you've ever been to. You know why?
Hey,
Because yesterday's
they
game
got throw a perfect
was
game.
so
That'd be
fast. Yo,
amazing.
my man,
How
they
fast
didn't
was yesterday's
score.
game? Seriously.
It was super fast because the Mets didn't score. It was faster than
You only
fuck.
had what, like 5 hits in that game
Five
yesterday?
hits, exactly 5 hits. Horrible, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I don't know. They for some reason one thing I noticed about the Mets is they seem to play better on the road. I know the record doesn't say that, but they seem to play differently. Like they seem more. I don't know. I just watched this last road trip. They seem to be a little more upbeat and a little more attentive at the plate. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
I think that it doesn't even matter where they play, man. They just suck, bro. They just suck. They can't get anything started. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck they're trying to do with Lindor because they're telling me this man is still hurt. Something that Juan Soto handled in 10 days. This guy's still out. Alvarez has surgery, came back, hit a home run today. Lindor's still out. What's going on?
Look at Scooball. He's about to come back.
Yeah, he's
He
coming
had
back.
elbow surgery, and he's gonna be back at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Before the end of the month.
How crazy is that? Yeah, he's ready for it's perfect timing because he had a great fucking rehab start and he's ready to go. This is perfect because I know that these guys are gonna Detroit is gonna have to let him go. Think about it. You get something in return. You guys are really going for it. Like we'll see. We'll see what they do. It's gonna
I
be
don't want
interesting.
Lindor.
I know you don't want Lindor,
You
but
don't have a spot to play in. They got Gunnar Henderson. They got
no,
Matt
no, no. I'm
Holliday
not
or
saying that.
Jackson
I'm
Holliday.
not saying for you. I'm not saying for you. I'm talking about schoolball. Schoolball. He's
Oh,
coming
Scuba.
back.
Yeah.
He's coming back, and he's gonna get dealt. Because listen to me. If that team doesn't deal him, they're not gonna pay. They're not gonna pay. So deal him.
No, they'll just let
Get
him
a
walk
prospect.
free and get nothing out of it, which would be really
No,
dumb.
no, no. But this is smart too. Okay, think about it. It's the same thing that they were saying that the Mets were gonna do with Peralta, right? So they're saying that, all right, if we're sellers, we get rid of him. He really wants to play in New York. We get rid of him. We send him to a contender. We get prospects back, right? And then after the season's over, you talk to him. You kind of pay you pay for his services because obviously Boris isn't gonna allow him to talk. So might as well get something in return for it. And we lost Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams to that. I mean, they're not doing well, but that's not the point. The point is we can get something in return for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's why they're willing to let those guys go because if Sprout and Scott come back next year and they could be the future of that rotation, then
Talking
you have
about
a
Tong and
Tong and Sprout. Yeah, yeah. I'm
no,
sorry,
Sprout is playing for another team now. Jet Williams and Sprout
not
went to
Sprout.
Milwaukee. Jonah Tong and McLean and
No, what's his name? Christian Scott.
Christian
What's
Scott. He's amazing. Yeah, he's doing well.
That's
He's
what I
getting better.
mean. It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be him and Tong in that rotation next year.
Of course.
That's why like they probably
Yeah, but you still need a headline.
you need an ace.
Yeah, you definitely
Yes, you
need
need a leader. That's yeah.
definitely need
So what you could do, here's what I would do if I was the Mets. You do what the Yankees did a couple years ago with Roldis Chapman. You trade him at the trade deadline. You get your top tier prospects back if you can. I don't know what you're going to get back from now. It's hard to tell, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
That's right.
And if you look at his numbers, Peralta has not. He's not the reason why the Mets are losing. He's been pretty good. It just he doesn't get the run support.
Well,
His what? He's what like 2 and something. Whatever 3 and something. His record is not that great, but he's not the reason why. So if you look at it from a whole, you realize okay, his numbers are still good. He's still effective. So there's value in trading for Peralta in a desperate team who's trying to make it. Just look at the Phillies, man. They're really going all for it, in my opinion. A team if they're outside looking in for a wild card, they're like, well, you know what? We need a starting pitcher. You put him in there. You give her, they trade away their prospects. They know they're going to rebuild, so who cares? You know what I mean?
yeah, but
So they might.
The Mets aren't gonna deal anybody within the division. They're not gonna do it. All right, because they're bitter right now. The fact that they even have to think about selling at this point is fucking crazy. They're not gonna fucking make anybody in the division better. And if they do, they're smoking crack once again. What do you think about what I just said? You think that's crazy? I mean, yeah, you're looking next door, but what are they giving you in return too, bro?
You trade what if the team in your division gives you the best offer, you got to suck up your pride and trade for it because if your goal is to build up the farm system or get younger, I think that is the Mets' plan now because they've put these young guys in now and their defense has improved on the Mets. If you look at the outfield defense, has gotten a lot better. So if your goal is to go younger in the pitching too, or any other positions, then yeah, you're definitely. Who cares if it's the Philly? Who cares if you trade him to Atlanta? You're not gonna be in the playoffs. It's not like he's gonna bite you in the butt in the NLCS. That's not gonna happen. So who cares? And then the nice thing about the Mets that the Braves can't do and probably won't do is if you just trade him, is you can resign him. Like, all right, come back here. Here's all the money. Now the thing is that he might not. He might do what Edwin Diaz did and not even give you a chance to talk because he doesn't want to come back. That's the only problem with having such a bad year. He's like, hey, if it's my first year here and we're doing this bad, you know what I mean? Now he can't control where he gets traded to, but now that he has a free agent, he can choose where he goes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, you could sign him. You could give him all the money in the world, but if he doesn't want to come to you, then just tells you money doesn't matter. It's more about winning or, being in an environment where it's, good vibes. And good vibes is not the right word, but, because
You
every
need
ballpark
that.
probably has good vibes. I'm
Nah, nah,
sure.
that's not true. That's not true. I don't think that the Mets have great vibes, good vibes, or me. No, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong in that fucking clubhouse. Can't figure it out. You need to figure out what the cancer is. And you need to cut that shit right away. And if it's Lindor, goodbye. I'm happy. I'm okay with that. Something's wrong for multiple reasons. But the management, Mendoza has to go. I don't want to see Mendoza in a fucking Mets uniform next year. This year's a bust. You know what I'm saying? If they pull off that 2024 shit on me, I'm not gonna, be too happy about it because this is bullshit. This shit shouldn't be happening. We can't be the, what I'm saying, hanging out with the Colorado Rockies and shit when we have all that money. It's funny how that money brought so many other problems to the ball club. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. All these egos. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you see how Soto is with these kids. He loves those kids. You know what I'm saying? He's always talking to them. He's always making sure that they're good. He's always blessing them with information. You can constantly see it on a daily basis. You never see Soto and Lindor having a conversation at all. How crazy is that?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think it's like in basketball. If you have too many ball dominant point guards, and that was the problem with the Brooklyn Nets going back a couple years ago. They had Harden, they had Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. All those three guys are alpha males from a basketball standpoint, in the sense that they're gonna want the ball, they want the control, and you can't have that. You need to have one person be in charge. And in the Mets case, Lindor is looked up to be a leader. He has that alpha mindset. So does Soto. Less. You know what I mean. And so does some of the other. They're the two main veterans on that Mets team that have cachet, in my opinion. Alvarez is too young, so he doesn't have that yet. You know what I mean. And then you traded your veterans away: McNeil, Alonso, and Brandon Numbo. So who else is there to be the alpha dog and to be the leader in that locker room? And I think the reason why Lindor might not be coming back either is because he's probably upset that the Mets are like literally giving every opportunity to Soto to be the leader of that locker room.
No, I'm telling
He's a lot younger. You know what I mean. So that's probably
yeah,
why.
nah, but it's not
So
about
it's
that.
about ego sometimes.
Listen, bro. If I feel like it doesn't matter, okay, number one, the money that you make shouldn't, imply that you are the leader of the ball club because you make the most money. That's number one. Number two, you shouldn't be voting for yourself or saying, I'm the leader of this ball club, okay? You have to understand that that comes from the majority vote. You know what I'm saying? Who is it that they feel comfortable having lead them to the promised land? You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. It's not like, oh, you make the most money, you're the leader. Or you know what? You're younger and you're gonna be here for the next 15 years, so you're the leader. No, it doesn't work that. It doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? The leader can be whoever the fuck everybody follows and listens to, and is able to take constructive criticism from. You know what I'm saying? Without getting bent out of shape and fucking feeling like you're getting pressed. You know? What do you think about what I just said?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to tell because if we were in that locker room, I'm sure all those guys that are in that locker room, they know what the problem is. They can point out like, oh my god, here we go. We
I
only can
can.
speculate because we don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like at your job, you can tell if you have that one coworker who just everyone despises because he's Mr. Know It All or she's Mr. Know It All, and everyone has a problem with her, and and everyone knows that they're the problem. The thing is, that the company's not going to do anything about it because there's rules and regulations about how you can't just get rid of people that fast. In baseball, you can't do that because baseball you can get rid of anybody if you want to, but they're not going to because his talent far exceeds the chaos that he brings sometimes, and also the money is so much to eat up that no one's gonna want to eat up
Which whose money?
a hundred Lindor's money. I'm just saying Lindor.
Like
You know,
150 million. That's nothing, bro. That's nothing. He has 5 years of control. You know what I'm saying? That works for whoever the fuck wants him. Remember, he's
Yeah,
still a
but the Met,
star.
who wants him? We don't know that yet. That's the thing. He
Of
hasn't played
course
enough
they
to
do.
determine.
Excuse me? That's a household name in
You
Major League
think they know
Baseball.
who wants him already?
No, I don't think they know who wants him, but there's a lot of suitors out there that if you dangle that guy, they're gonna be fucking jumping all over it. I got teams that need that star quality player. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna do it. 'Cause, you know, when Lindor's hot, he's hot. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
can he can run, great defense. He has a great bat. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen it this year, but it's there.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, someone will take a flyer on him because they could put him as the nice thing about Lindor. You could put him as DH. He doesn't have to field, but fielding is not really his problem. It's his
No,
offense. He hasn't producing. You know, fielding is still good.
bro,
Defensively, he's still good,
with the injuries, you know what I'm saying? Remember,
but he's injury prone. That's the other problem.
that bullshit with the hammer, you know what I'm saying, that happened right before the season started. I know that shit affected him, you know what I'm saying? I know he wasn't at full strength when he decided to come back. It should have held him back a little longer. Whatever. He didn't do that. Now this injury,
Well, that's
now,
what the Orioles did with Holiday.
I
They
know,
took
I don't
their
think,
sweet time,
I
and
know.
but that's because he's a younger player, and they're not losing. You know, yeah, they were losing. Don't get me wrong, they're not winning right now, but they had other guys they could use. The thing is, with the Mets don't have a good backup guy off the bench.
I mean, when you spend all
In the
that
Orioles, they could
money,
put in
what good?
Jeremiah Jackson, and he did just fine. That's why he wasn't lights out, but he basically was just the same as Jackson Holiday. So you weren't really losing much from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they're still good defensively, but for the Mets, there's more pressure on the Mets to bring him back than there is for the Orioles. You know what I mean? Because the Mets have all this pressure. They gotta win. They spend an exorbitant amount of money in the offseason, and you show me this. Yeah, they're gonna feel the heat, especially in New York, man. You know how it is in New York. You feel it way more than anywhere else, and they're gonna let you know. It doesn't matter if you're the Mets or the Yankees, the Knicks, the Nets. When you're doing bad, they're gonna let you have it. When you're doing great, they're gonna love you. So for the Mets, that's why they rushed him back because they need him. They need his bat. The other guys aren't producing. Bichette, he's slowly getting it together, but when's he gonna get it together? By the time he gets it together, what's gonna happen? The season's already over. So what good is that? You know what I mean? That's another guy that could opt out of his 3-year deal because he has to opt out after the first year. So is he gonna walk? Who knows? So that's two guys right off the bat. In my opinion, if you know he's gonna walk, which they're not gonna tell you, Bichette's not gonna tell you, hey, by the way, I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? It's like me telling my current job I'm gonna leave before I even get the job at my. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's stupid.
I mean, listen, I don't know what we're gonna do with Bichette too. Like, it's weird. I'll give you the numbers. Bichette, 2022, 290. 2023, 306. 2024, 225, but he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So 2025, last year, 311. 2026. I know the season ain't over yet, but you can't be biting 210. Come on, man. It's a problem. It's a serious problem. You know what? Another guy that, hit 60 home runs, right? Last year. And now he's garbage. Batting 161 with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs. What catch am I talking about?
On the Mets,
No, not on the Mets. Rally. Kyle.
Kyle. Oh well, he's injured. He's on the IL.
I know, but,
Yeah, last year he had a breakout year, and this year it's like a sophomore slump, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but yeah, that's surprising. He's been hurt, but they're still playing pretty well. Seattle without him, their backup catcher's been doing pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know if it could be like in football where they finally figure out how to pitch to him, and so now he hasn't learned how to adjust to those pitches or
Yeah,
pitchers,
that makes total sense.
and so that's probably what's happening. Um, who knows? But
That happened to Peter Alonso
he's
a long time ago. Last year,
yeah,
different. But once they learn how to pitch to you and know what you like, and they know the bullshit you like to swing at, because Alonso likes to swing at that low shit.
yes, it drives
So
me crazy, man. He always swings
yeah,
that dumb stuff That's like 6 feet underground. It's like, bro, what
Yeah,
the heck?
that's what he likes because you know when he
Fucking,
catches that shit is a
he can
skyrocket.
elevate it. Well, he's
Yeah,
got the power to, elevate, launch it.
yeah, that's why
Now
he
with
likes.
P, the P, I don't know if he's struggling because he doesn't. I don't know if he's struggling because he doesn't know the pitches in the American League, or if it's just
A little bit of
changing
that too.
scenery. Baltimore. It's I don't know dimensions about
Now you hope that that's exactly what it is because remember, this
We'll
is
see.
162 games and then we start all over again. You know what I'm saying? If we don't make it to the promised land, you know what I'm saying, the playoffs and shit, it's okay. You know why? Because next year he's learned a lot and he's gonna be able to maybe produce a little better next year. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, you have him for what 5 years?
Yeah, 5 year deal,
Yeah.
180 something.
Okay,
So
so
four
yeah,
more years to go.
exactly. So he's
Um,
learning. He's learning. He's
I
learning.
don't know if there's an opt out in that contract, but
I don't
uh,
know.
that I like that 5 year. That's the only good thing about him signing it when he did, because he realistically realized he's not going to get a 10-year deal. Baltimore's like, all right, yeah, 5 years is a lot because he's 30 something years old. But if you can get 3 out of the 5 years good out of him, then then it was worth the money that you gave him. He hasn't been like terrible. I'm not saying he's like Chris Davis where he went 0 for 34 and is it's not that bad. He's just inconsistent, and they signed him to be clutch, and he's not clutch. Yeah, you can hit all the doubles in the world and blah blah blah. You could hit
They
a home
signed him
run,
for the
but
30
it
home
doesn't
runs,
do anything.
40 home runs. That's what they signed him for. You know what I'm saying? Those fucking home runs make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not it happens. Okay, look, I'll give you a perfect example. All right. Yeah, he's inconsistent. All right. Yeah, you know, he hits home runs when we don't really need him. Yeah. All right. But if it wasn't for Alonso, we would have never met the Dodgers in that NLCS. You know what I'm saying? Because at the right time, he came through. You know what I'm saying? When we needed it the most. When we were packing our bags and ready to go back home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have. You have that player, you know? Like, yeah, all that shit can happen, but at the same time, he can be electric and shit and just win the whole shit for you. You know what I'm saying? And he did it for us. I'm not saying that I miss him, but I'm saying that you have something. It's not complete trash.
No, but here's the thing. The thing I'm asking myself was that 24 run an anomaly, or is that what he could be? And that's the question. That's the highest ceiling we've seen of Pete Alonso.
Of course it
So
was.
did we? Is that his max, or is that just an anomaly? If that's his max, then you got good news in Baltimore, because it's like, all right, maybe he just got to get warmed up. Maybe next year he'll be better. He has maybe he'll change his approach. Who knows what it is going to
I don't
be?
know, cause yeah, I don't know what it is with him. You know what it is about him? He's weird. Okay, so when he had that walk year in 23, he was the worst Alonso I've ever seen. You could tell there was a lot of pressure. He knew that he was playing for a contract, and it was gonna be based off those numbers that year. And he was horrible. And what did he end up getting? He ended up getting that 2 year with the opt out, right? And then he came back, and I guess there was less pressure and he had that fantastic year. You know what I'm saying? They were setting him up properly. He was protection for Soto, and he was getting pitches to look at. He was hitting the ball like a maniac. He was fucking, you know, he wasn't striking out as much either. It was crazy. It was a different Alonso. And then after that, he decides that he wants his walking papers, right? All right. Now, he's with you guys. So the adjustment period, you know, new environment, new pitchers, you know what I'm saying? You're not seeing the same pitchers over and over again in the same division. So like he has to adjust, you know what I'm saying? So next year I think he'll be better. Maybe he'll be more like that 2024 Alonso that we had, with the Mets. But I think that, with age comes, a decline as well. So we don't know what we're gonna get from Alonso. But I'm glad he's not with the Mets because I feel like, it was time for him to go. Maybe he can help you guys. He's not gonna help us anymore. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, what I've seen from him so far, it's like, that might have been a mistake, but I don't know. It's still early to tell. Who knows? Maybe he'll turn it on, and as the season gets hotter, as far as from a weather standpoint. In Baltimore, New York, it doesn't start getting warm till like it doesn't start getting to the 90s until
It
like
just
now
started. It just
in
started getting
June.
now where I'm not
And
worried.
so it
That
makes a difference. The
yeah,
ball carries, you know what I mean? The air thins out, ball carries better. So I don't know, but I think also see with these pitchers in the American League, and they know that he loves to swing at pitches down in the low. So that what they're doing is they're pitching balls either high of the strike zone or to the far right or far left of the strike zone, and they know he's going to chase. Especially when he's in a hole, he's like a 1-2 or a 3-2. He's very impatient
yeah, he
sometimes.
gets
He
thirsty.
doesn't walk. He doesn't walk very well.
Uh,
And if they knew he was more patient, if you're a patient batter, it puts pressure on. It puts pressure on you either way because if you walk him, he's gonna hurt you. If you give up a cookie, he's gonna hurt you. But Alonso only hurts you if you give him a cookie. And where's the best place to put the cookie? Right, lower half of the strike zone where
over half of that strikes though, exactly.
and he knows that. Teams know that. So if you know that, it's like, all right, why would I? Well, let me just pitch outside the strike zone. He's gonna chase everything. You know what I mean? If you throw it high, when he hits pitches that are like high in the strike zone, he always pops it up or grounds out. It's just like I didn't see today's home run. I was doing homework when that happened. But either way, he they know how to pitch. They're figuring him out as they go. So we'll see.
Yo, so I know this is a baseball podcast, but the Knicks are playing. This is game 4.
Woo! Yes,
The
banked.
Knicks are, the Knicks are up in the series 2-1. Spurs are destroyed right
Mm,
now. They're winning by
90 to
15.
90 to
15
75 at the end of the third period
third.
or
I
third
think that
quarter.
the Knicks are gonna close that gap, but they're gonna lose. I already told everybody at work. I'm like, yo, bro, the Knicks won the first 2, the Spurs win the next 3. All right, so they're gonna win this one. They're gonna win the next one. Then the Knicks are gonna have to win 2 in a row. All right, they will take this shit to game 7. So the Knicks will win that 6, that game to tie the series 3 up. But Spurs are gonna win 3 first. It's funny how the Knicks look like shit right now. They look like they can't even. They don't know what the fuck is happening to them. I was watching the first half and it was like, wow.
They
They look.
just see San Antonio plays really good defense. And see, I was more worried about. Let's see, I thought they had a better chance against the Spurs than OKC because OKC has experience,
Yeah,
and Chet Holmgren is a little bit bigger. He's got more years in the league than Wembanyama. But the other thing is also the Knicks might have, they got too high on their 12-game winning streak. So they got a little too not cocky is not the right word. They might have got too comfortable, and San Antonio might have saw that. Said, all right, look, this team seems a little bit too relaxed. Let's go after them, and then punching him in the face, and like, oh wow, this guy's not putting his hands up to block himself. All right, I'm gonna keep punching you in the face until you put your hands up, and that's what they're doing right now.
yeah. It's
So
kind
these are games you got to win because if you win in New York, that's a big advantage. Now you go back to Texas. There's less pressure. Yeah, it's pressure to win in San Antonio because that's a winning organization. But
of,
compared to New York, yeah, that's pretty big. So Knicks have some serious thinking to do because you can't get punched in the face like this. This is the worst game in their postseason so far.
yeah, definitely.
They were not expecting this, and I thought they'd have a better performance. But it's crazy because both games at home they started San Antonio started out with like a 10-point lead, and that's yeah, the Knicks came back in that game the other day, but it was just too late. So who knows? I think it will still go 7 games.
Yeah, of course it is. It's a business before anything. And you're gonna see these guys are gonna get pretty close. They're gonna try to close the lead, but they're not gonna win this game. There's no way in hell. The Knicks look like they could easily lose this. If they lose this game now, it's a brand new series. It's gonna be crazy. I think the Spurs look a little better right now.
Yeah, and Spurs get a lot of confidence because like, okay, now you go home. All you gotta do is win that game in San Antonio. You come back to New York. Now you know you can win it in New York, and not only can you win, you blow the doors off of them.
Yeah,
What do you have to
but the
lose?
but the same with the Knicks. So the Knicks can go over there and
The Knicks
fucking
can
take
go bust
ass over. Yeah,
pipes.
yeah,
That's what happened with them against Atlanta. They lost what game 3 in that series or game 2 to Atlanta, and then ever since they went on 12-game losing streak. Like, all right, cool, we gotta get our act together. So you see, sometimes it's good to lose a game like this, because it's a wake up call. Like, okay, we're really not as great as we think we are. We have some serious work to do because these guys are just manhandling us. But like I said, I think the Knicks are too good to just lay down, and lose. So I think it'll be 7 games. I'm rooting for them to win. It'd be great. It's been since '93, 26 years, something since they last won. So they need it.
I remember the last time these motherfuckers.
Well, they played
in the
each other in
final.
'99,
Yeah,
but
99. Yeah, I remember that shit, bro. Watching that shit through like a window in a store or some shit. They had the TV.
that's cool.
Yeah, I remember standing watching that shit. What was that 50-game season? I mean, those motherfuckers had Tim Duncan and they had fucking David Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Tim Duncan, he played there for a long time. He was great,
yeah.
But back to baseball. So in Yankee news, bad news, their second best player offensively and defensively, Aaron Judge got hurt against the A's when they were on the road last Friday. I think it was not this past Friday, 2 weeks ago. Anyway, he's been playing with a lot of discomfort, and he didn't say anything. And he finally said something to Aaron Boone, and so they put him in the X-ray tube, and turns out he has a right rib fracture. They don't think it happened recently. They think it happened all the way back in April. And he admitted to saying that, yeah, I got hurt. I was just trying to play through the pain and not do anything. But the problem is he just made it worse because now the injury got worse and worse. So now he's forced to sit out. He's going to be out to 4 to 6 weeks. See, this is the nice thing about having a cushion when you have a 10-game, when you're 10 games above 500, yeah, you might, you're in test. Technically, they're tied for first place.
They are.
The only difference is by one loss.
Yeah.
So they're right there. So they're not losing ground. If they can stay there while Judge is gone, great. But him and Ben Rice are the only guys that have been hitting home runs and producing runs for this team. So ever since they lost them, they've gone on a little 4-game winning streak. Yeah, Cleveland is not all that great, but they beat them, so that's good. So who knows? But anyway, like I said, they say he heard it in April. They think he's such a tall guy, so all that force comes down when he dives for a ball in the outfield. That puts a lot of pressure and impact on your ribs. Laying flat. It's not normal to go 90 miles per hour, do what do you call a dive like that onto the hard ground. So, but anyway, and they knew something was wrong because in the last 22 games, his batting average is at 207 with a 649 OPS and only 2 home runs. And that's not usually Aaron Judge. Like, he was, swinging at pitches he shouldn't have, being too aggressive, trying to, do it, Mr. Do-It-All. And so Aaron Boone's like, what's going on, man? Like, something's not right. Because, sometimes the players are their worst enemies because, they don't want to say they're hurt because then they know it's going to hurt the team. Plus, every game you miss, that's one less game that you're never going to get back in the pros. Granted, you have a longer career in baseball if you make it than you do in football. But still, and so, if I don't tell you there's something wrong, I can't help you. You know what I mean? It's just like my mom always said when I had anger issues as a kid. If you don't tell me what's going on, then I can't help you. And whatever problems you're having, you're just going to get fester and get bigger and bigger. Well, same thing with this injury. He let it, he didn't want to say nothing, because he doesn't want to hurt the team. He knows the team needs him. And because of that, it got worse and worse. And now he's got to, he has to basically sit and heal. But even then, when he comes back in August, he's still got to ramp it back up. Who knows where are the Yankees still going to be where they are now, tied for first place? If they don't lose any grounds and they stay where they are, then it's okay. Then losing, but if they start losing games a lot, then they know he's been a big asset. But the other guys, Grisham needs to start stepping up. Forget about Volpe. Chisholm needs to step up. Goldschmidt needs to step up at first base. All these guys, the catching situation is terrible. The catcher can't. Austin Wells, he's been terrible. He can't do nothing. He's not, from an offensive standpoint, he's non-productive. The starting pitching is great. Rodon has been great. Fried has been great. Cam Schlittler has been great. They have a really good bullpen. I mean, they have a good back in the bullpen too. It's just their offense is inconsistent. The guys that they need to produce are not producing. You can't expect just two guys to carry you. It works so far, but what are you gonna do if one leaves and gets hurt, or they just or they go on a cold streak? So what's saving the Yankees is their pitching, because if you have good pitching like that, all you need to score is like 3 to 4 runs and you win the game, and that's what's been happening.
That's exactly what happened.
So as far as more injuries go, Tech Screwball is coming back soon after 1 month since he had the elbow surgery. He had a rehab start in High A Western Michigan. In that game, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 6 Ks. So if you're Detroit, you want him back fast. They're not outside looking in. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. They're kind of so far behind too. But if you know, because it's his walk year and you want to trade for him and build up your farm system, you want to get him back, because that way you have something to show for and say, look, these are his numbers. Since, if he's the old school ball that he was when he got hurt, then you're going to get something back. If he comes back and he's struggling and, giving up runs and all this craziness, it's going to hurt your chances of trading him. Then you'd be like, man, we're just going to have to eat him up and hope to God we can re-sign him in the offseason. So I don't know what Detroit's going to do. I would trade for him, because you can get a haul back for him. Like what the Yankees got for Soto. You know what I mean? They're going to get a haul like that. Trust me.
You mean what San Diego got for Soto?
What San Diego got for Soto from the I guess so. Yeah. Or that, or what Washington, even better, what Washington got for trading Soto to San Diego originally.
Yeah.
So if you can get a haul back like that, then they're good, because Javier Baez is getting old. Green is still young, the outfielder. I don't know the whole lineup, but they have decent starting pitching. So the Detroit's they're just not good offensively. I've watched their games, and they just don't score runs. So they need a true power bat. They don't really have that. And, they don't have a Soto on their team. They don't have a Judge. They don't have a Pudge Rodriguez. They don't have a Melky Cabrera. I mean, losing him was like losing Mariano Rivera, man. He was the biggest piece of their offense. Biggest piece of the offense outside. They were so good in the late 2000s, They're good pitching, and the offense was producing, Austin Jackson, Melky Cabrera.
Not Melky Cabrera. You're talking about
Miguel Cabrera, excuse me. Miguel Cabrera.
Listen to you, and I'm like, I know you're not talking about.
Yeah, I'm getting confused, man. I'm getting confused with a guy from the Yankees. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Miggy.
Exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, I would trade for him, because why not? You're going to get something for him. You're definitely going to get something for him. He's a hot commodity. People are going to want him. So yeah, trade for him.
I would. So check this out. So tell me what the pitcher in the head of the week is, and then I'm going to give you your question. And you better get this shit right, because if not, we're going to have problems. So
hitter of the week is going to be Matt Chapman of your San Francisco Giants on June 5th versus he had an 8-3 win versus the Cubs. In that game, he went 2 for 3, 2 home runs, and 8 RBIs and 2 runs. So that's pretty dominant. In this year's Gunslinger of the Week, this is our first one for this year, which is a surprise, which is on June 3rd. The Dodgers were against the Rockies, I believe. They won 17-7. Ohtani pitched 6 innings, allowed 2 hits, 0 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He was 3 for 4 at the plate with 2 walks and a run.
That's crazy.
So he had a great performance against Colorado.
Insane.
And that's your Gunslinger of the Week.
Okay. And now, for the question that you better get right, who is the only active player in Major League Baseball right now with over 2,500 hits, career hits, obviously? And then, if you can,
2,500 career hits.
yep, active right now as we speak. Okay, you can give
I'm
me.
going to go with either. Oh, you have options?
I have there's four guys up here, but
Okay, tell me. Or
no,
give me the
no,
options and I'll
no,
choose.
no, 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 no.
Oh, you want me to guess?
Oh yeah, try to
Okay, I'm gonna
guess.
since it's four guys, I have to guess four guys.
No, you don't have to guess four guys. I want you to guess the
Okay, I'm
first
gonna
guy.
just first guy. I would say Mike Trout
Wrong.
or Bryce
That's
Harper.
strike one, strike two.
What?
Yep, you got four guys.
Freddie Freeman.
Boom, number one.
Damn.
Yeah,
I just
baby.
saw something about him the other day about that. I was like, wow. So Freddie Freeman, former Brave, LA Dodger. Okay, and what? Who else?
All right, you still got one strike left, so think about it. You got one strike left. You got two
I need
guys.
two more guys. I need to
Yeah.
guess.
No, you can guess. There's three more guys on the list, but you have two strikes. So if you get one, if you miss again, then I'll tell you
Judge.
negative. You strike three.
Damn.
So Jose Altuve has 2,400 hits,
That
right?
bastard.
Plus hits, and you know the other guy, which is pretty obvious because he's been around for a while, Andrew McCutcheon. He has 2,200.
That guy's still playing. I forgot about that. Jeez.
And then
I
the
think he's
other
in
guy-
Texas now.
The other guy, the last guy, is Paul Goldschmidt. He has
The Yankees.
over 2,200. Yeah,
Wow.
but
That's
another
pretty
guy that's
impressive.
been around. Yeah, Freddie Freeman hasn't been around longer than those other guys,
No.
and that's what's crazy. That's why he's so impressive.
He's done it in a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Same thing with Judge with all those home runs. He's done it in a short amount of time. You know. But that's pretty good company. Freeman,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Yeah, but Freeman's the truth. I love Freeman.
Trout.
Never had anything negative to say about Freeman. What a great fucking.
No, that's crazy. Braves fans, you know how fans are. When you lose your best player, you boo the hell out of him. But you know, Braves fans, they've come around. You know, they you know, if he said I'm coming back at the end of my 2 years left in L.A., guess what? We'll have a freaking parade. We'd go pick him out the airport right now.
I know.
Red carpet parade for that guy because he did so much.
No, but you know the funny shit is that he was never told that, you know, Atlanta had an offer for him, you know what I'm saying? And his agent got in trouble for that shit. So who knows? He would have probably stayed, you know, with Atlanta. But look what
But I have to
happened.
say they're shifting to Matt Olson has worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out
He
more
leads
than well.
he leads the Braves with 19 home runs. So and he's really good. So
Really, really good. I'm, you know, homegrown.
I like Matt Olson. He's my
Same
my
here.
top. He's my third favorite player on that team right now. Cunha, Harris, and Olsen. They've been, but my other new favorite guy, man, Drake Baldwin, man, he's a nobody no one knows about, and he's been great. Who was Mauricio Dubon, another guy that no one's talked about. He's been good offensively. Who else? Eli White. He's good. He's good off the bench. He seems to do pretty well when he comes in. Riley's been Riley. He hasn't been lighting up the world, but you know he's still good defensively. You know, Cunha just got hurt against Chicago the other day, so I don't know if he's out for a while or what's going on. I think it's a minor issue. I haven't looked into his incident, but it happened yesterday. He got hurt. So yeah, we'll see. But those are pretty amazing guys, you know. And Freeman, he's what in his early 30s, so he still could play for another couple of years, and you know they could put him at DH wherever he goes, whether he stays in LA. Probably not. See, the reason why I think he would leave LA is if he doesn't want to play the field anymore, because Otani is going to be there for a long time. So now you don't have a DH position. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to want to play off the bench.
I don't think they'll sign him again. I don't think they'll sign him again. They'll probably go super young in that position. And remember, they have mad shit behind us, mad shit in the farm because they don't use them. So who knows what they
the
have?
farm system is so good. That's the thing that's crazy about the Dodgers. You know, you trade all these. They have all these assets, and you still replenish, even with late draft picks. They always find diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the Knicks, 83-96. 7 minutes left on the clock. It's not over yet. It's not
You could do a lot of damage.
hell yeah, you can, but we will see what happens.
You're down by 13.
We're gonna figure it out. Well, they're gonna figure it out. But
Yeah,
that was
we're
a
going
good
to
one.
bed.
Exactly. I gotta work tomorrow, so
Same. I got to be at work at 9.
peace, brother. Man.
Peace, bro. See y'all next week.
Definitely.